Success isn't something that just falls into your lap, and it certainly doesn't come from wishing for it. If you want to achieve lasting success, it's all about the daily habits you build and the discipline you develop. How many times have you set goals only to see them slip away because you didn't follow through? The truth is, discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. But what does it really take to build that kind of discipline? How can you make it a part of your life every single day? In this video, we'll dive into how daily actions, consistency, and accountability are the real keys to attracting success into your life. Stick around, because what you do today shapes the life you'll have tomorrow. And it all starts with the power of discipline. Let's talk about how to make that happen. Number one, build daily habits that push you closer to success. Building daily habits that push you closer to success is a cornerstone of personal growth. Success doesn't just happen by chance or through some magical stroke of luck. Success is a result of consistent, disciplined action, day after day, no matter what the circumstances are. If you want to succeed in life, you need to stop waiting for something to change on its own, because nothing will change unless you decide to change it. You have to make success happen by building habits that move you closer to your goals every single day. Think about it. Success is not something you stumble upon. It's something you create. It's built from the small decisions you make each day, the actions you take consistently over time. These actions compound, they build momentum, and eventually they create the life you desire. But it all starts with habits. The habits you have today are creating the results you will experience tomorrow. If you're not where you want to be, it's time to look at the habits you're living by. The truth is, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. The difference between people who are successful and those who are not is often the habits they choose to develop in that time. Some people use their time to build habits that propel them forward. Others let their time slip away with distractions and excuses. What you do each day has a direct impact on where you will be in the future. But building habits takes time. It takes patience, it takes focus, and it takes a willingness to push through the moments when it's difficult to stay consistent. But that's the price of success. The question is, are you willing to pay it? The first step in building habits that push you closer to success is to get clear on what success looks like for you. Success means something different to everyone. For some, success might mean financial freedom. For others, it might mean improving their health, building better relationships, or achieving personal fulfillment. You need to be clear on what you want so you can create habits that will lead you toward that outcome. Once you know what success means to you, it's time to identify the habits that are going to get you there. Success is never a result of one big action. It's the result of daily, consistent actions that add up over time. And the key to success is not just focusing on the big things. It's the small things you do every day that matter. These little habits, whether they're related to your health, your mindset, your finances, or your relationships, are what shape your life in the long run. For example, if you want to build financial success, you need to develop habits around saving and investing money, avoiding unnecessary expenses, and learning about personal finance. If you want to improve your health, you need to develop habits around exercise, eating well, getting enough sleep, and taking care of your body. If you want to build stronger relationships, you need to develop habits around communication, showing appreciation, and spending quality time with the people who matter most. You don't have to be perfect, but you need to be consistent. That's the secret. It's the daily effort that adds up over time. Small steps taken every single day eventually lead to big changes. Think about the person who works out every day. They might start with just 15 minutes, but over time that 15 minutes turns into 30, then 45, then an hour. They don't wake up one day and suddenly run a marathon. They build up to it by committing to small daily habits. The same principle applies to your financial success. It's not about getting rich overnight. It's about putting away a little bit of money every day, every month, and every year. It's about making small decisions. Decisions not to waste money. Decisions to invest in your future. And decisions to live below your means. Those daily choices compound over time. And before you know it, you're closer to financial freedom than you ever thought possible. Building habits is also about changing the way you think. Success starts with the mind. If you want to build better habits, you need to start by changing your mindset. Most people have limiting beliefs that hold them back. They think they can't do it. They think they don't have the time, the money, or the skills to succeed. But these beliefs are just stories they tell themselves. And those stories are what keep them stuck. To build the habits that lead to success, you have to shift your thinking. You need to believe that you can change. You need to believe that small steps add up. And most importantly, you need to believe that you're worthy of success. When you change your mindset, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. Suddenly, the actions you need to take don't seem so hard anymore. They become part of your new routine, part of your new identity. The next part of building daily habits is to take action, even when you don't feel like it. The truth is, you're not always going to feel motivated. You're not always going to want to do the work. But success isn't about waiting for motivation to show up. It's about showing up even when motivation isn't there. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation fades. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your achievements. It's the thing that keeps you moving forward, even when the going gets tough. A lot of people want success, but they're not willing to do the work. They want to be wealthy, but they don't want to manage their money. They want to be healthy, but they don't want to exercise or eat right. They want a better life, but they're not willing to sacrifice the small daily comforts that hold them back. But if you want real, lasting success, you have to be willing to do the work. And that work starts with building habits that will carry you forward. It's important to remember that habits take time to develop. It's not going to happen overnight. But if you stay consistent, you'll start to see results. In the beginning, it might feel like you're not making any progress. You might feel like you're putting in all this effort and not seeing the fruits of your labor. But trust me, your work is not going unnoticed. The small steps you're taking today are building momentum, and that momentum will carry you to success. One of the most powerful ways to build habits is to make them automatic. You want your good habits to become second nature. The more you repeat them, the easier they become. Eventually, you don't have to think about them. They just become part of who you are. That's when you know you've truly mastered a habit. When it becomes a part of your daily routine, when it becomes who you are, that's when you know you're on the path to success. But don't fool yourself. Success is not a straight line. There will be setbacks. There will be days when you fall off track. There will be days when you feel like giving up. But those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments when you have to dig deep and push through. Success isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about getting back on track when you stumble and keep moving forward. You have the power to create the life you want. It starts with the habits you build every day. You can't control everything in life, but you can control your actions. You can control the decisions you make each day, and those decisions will shape your future. The key to success is simple. It's about doing the right things every single day. It's about building habits that move you toward your goals, even when it feels tough. The success you want is within your reach. You just have to take the first step. You just have to commit to building habits that push you closer to your goals every single day. Success is not a destination, it's a journey. And that journey begins with the habits you build today. So ask yourself, what habits are you building right now? Are they pushing you closer to your goals, or are they holding you back? The choice is yours. You have the power to build the habits that will take you where you want to go. Don't wait for success to come to you. Go out and build it, one habit at a time. Number 2, commit to discipline and let action shape your future. Commitment to discipline is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. It's the backbone of success. It's the engine that drives you forward when the road gets tough and when the results don't come quickly enough. Discipline is the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who don't. It's the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. If you want to change your life, if you want to achieve anything worthwhile, then you must commit to discipline and let action shape your future. Commitment isn't a half-hearted effort. It's not about saying I'll try or I'll do my best. Commitment is a promise you make to yourself that you will not quit, that you will keep pushing forward no matter what obstacles come your way. You must understand this. Success isn't a matter of waiting for the right moment or hoping that things will work out. It's about the small, deliberate actions you take each and every day. It's about how well you stick to your commitments, even when the going gets tough. And believe me, it will get tough. The road to success is never easy, but it's always worth it. The first step in committing to discipline is to make a clear decision about what you want. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life and start drifting without a clear direction. But if you're going to commit to discipline, you need to know exactly where you're going. What is it that you want to achieve? What are the goals that matter most to you? These goals might be big, like building a successful business, or they might be small, like getting healthier or improving a skill. Whatever they are, you need to be crystal clear about them. Without clear goals, you'll struggle to stay disciplined because there's no destination to reach. Once you know what you want, it's time to get to work. Discipline doesn't wait for inspiration or the perfect moment. It requires you to take action, no matter how you feel. It's about showing up day in and day out, doing what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. The most successful people in the world don't wait for motivation to strike. They make the choice to take action, regardless of how they feel in the moment. Taking action is the foundation of discipline. But action alone is not enough. It's about the right kind of action. The kind of action that aligns with your goals. This means that every decision you make, every action you take, must be intentional and focused on moving you closer to your desired outcome. If your goal is to get healthier, for example, then your actions need to be aligned with that goal. You need to prioritize healthy habits, like exercising, eating well, and getting enough rest. If your goal is to build a successful career or business, then your actions need to focus on developing the skills, making the connections, and taking the steps that will lead to that success. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing what matters. But discipline isn't easy. It requires mental toughness and resilience. It requires you to push through the moments when you don't feel like it, when your body is tired, or when doubt creeps in. There will be times when you want to quit. There will be times when things don't go according to plan. There will be times when you feel like giving up. But those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments that separate those who succeed from those who don't. It's in those moments that you must dig deep, remind yourself why you started, and push through. The ability to keep going when it's tough is what sets successful people apart. That's where discipline becomes a game changer. Think about the great athletes, the entrepreneurs, the people who have achieved extraordinary success. They didn't get there by sitting around, waiting for things to happen. They didn't get there by hoping for the best. They got there by taking consistent action, by showing up every day and doing the work, even when they didn't feel like it, even when the odds were stacked against them. They understood that success is a result of persistence, not luck. But here's the thing, action alone is not enough. Discipline also requires you to be strategic. You need to make smart decisions that will maximize your efforts. You need to understand that not every action is equal. Some actions are more impactful than others. It's easy to get busy, but being busy doesn't necessarily mean you're being productive. You need to focus on the activities that will move you closer to your goals and eliminate distractions that don't serve your purpose. Every action you take should have a purpose behind it. Every day should be an opportunity to get closer to where you want to be. The next step in committing to discipline is accountability. You need to hold yourself accountable for the actions you take or don't take. It's easy to let yourself off the hook when things don't go as planned. But accountability forces you to face the truth. It forces you to take ownership of your results, whether they're good or bad. If you're not where you want to be, it's not because of someone else. It's because of the actions or lack of actions you've taken. If you want to change your life, you need to take full responsibility for your progress. Nobody else can do it for you. Your success is in your hands. At the same time, discipline requires you to be patient. This is one of the most important aspects of discipline. Understanding that success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and consistency. You have to be willing to put in the work, even when the results aren't immediately visible. The small actions you take today will pay off in the long run, but you won't see the payoff right away. That's where patience comes in. You have to trust the process. You have to believe that your efforts are making a difference, even if you can't see the results just yet. Remember, every action you take is building momentum, and that momentum will eventually lead to success. You also need to embrace the fact that setbacks are part of the process. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. It means showing up, doing the work, and sticking with it. Even when things don't go as planned, there will be challenges. There will be obstacles. But every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow. Every failure is a lesson that brings you closer to success. The key is not to let setbacks stop you. They're part of the journey. When you commit to discipline, you commit to bouncing back from failure and staying on track, no matter what. In addition to all of this, discipline requires a strong sense of purpose. You need to know why you're doing what you're doing. Without a clear sense of purpose, it's easy to lose motivation and give up. But when you're deeply connected to your reason for pursuing your goals, discipline becomes much easier. Your purpose will drive you through the hard times, give you the strength to keep going when things get tough, and remind you that what you're doing matters. When your why is clear, your how becomes easier. When you commit to discipline, you take control of your future. You stop waiting for things to change, and you start making things happen. Success doesn't come from wishing for it. It doesn't come from hoping for it. It comes from action. It comes from discipline. It comes from doing the work, day in and day out, and trusting the process. The future you want is shaped by the actions you take today. If you want to achieve greatness, you must commit to discipline. Let action be the force that shapes your future. Every step you take, every action you take, brings you one step closer to the life you desire. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and keep moving forward. The future you've always dreamed of is within your reach. It's up to you to make it happen. Number 3, stop waiting for luck and start taking meaningful steps. Stop waiting for luck. That's the message we all need to hear. Far too often, people sit around, hoping that something will happen by chance, that some stroke of luck will suddenly change their lives. They look at others who seem to have it all, and they wonder why they haven't received the same lucky break. It's easy to sit back and think that if they just wait long enough, things will magically fall into place. But that's not how it works. Success doesn't come from waiting. It doesn't come from hoping for luck. Success is created through action, effort, and taking meaningful steps toward your goals every single day. Luck is often nothing more than a myth that people hold on to in order to avoid the reality of hard work. It's a comfortable excuse to avoid taking responsibility for the outcomes of our lives. The truth is, there are no shortcuts to success. No one is going to come along and hand you the life you want. If you want to change your circumstances, you have to be the one who takes the necessary steps. You have to stop hoping for luck and start doing the work. It all starts with taking responsibility for your life. You need to understand that everything you want, every goal you dream of, every success you desire is within your control. But in order to achieve it, you have to stop waiting and start taking meaningful steps. Every single day is an opportunity to move closer to your dreams. But it requires you to show up and put in the effort. The people you admire didn't get to where they are by sitting around waiting for a lucky break. They took action, sometimes against all odds, and they kept moving forward step by step. The first thing you need to do is get rid of the idea that luck is going to save you. Luck may play a tiny role in some of life's random occurrences, but it's not the foundation of success. The foundation is hard work, dedication, and taking meaningful, consistent steps toward your goals. When you stop waiting for luck, you free yourself from the illusion that you need something external to change in order to succeed. Success is in your hands. It always has been. The second thing you must do is identify the specific steps you need to take to get where you want to be. This means you need to get clear about your goals. Without clear goals, it's easy to get distracted, to wander aimlessly, and to feel like you're putting in effort without seeing any results. But when you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, it becomes much easier to take meaningful steps forward. So what is it that you truly want? What is the life you're working toward? Whether it's a successful business, financial freedom, health, or personal growth, it's important to know exactly where you're going. When you know your destination, every step you take is one step closer to getting there. Once you have a clear goal, you need to break it down into smaller, manageable steps. The biggest goals can feel overwhelming, but when you break them down into smaller pieces, it becomes much easier to take consistent action. If your goal is to lose 50 pounds, for example, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the enormity of the task. But if you break it down into daily actions, like eating healthier, exercising for 30 minutes a day, and tracking your progress, it becomes much more manageable. The key to success is taking consistent, meaningful steps every single day. Each small step builds on the last, creating momentum that leads to bigger results. It's also crucial that you start taking these steps now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment doesn't exist. Life will never be perfectly aligned for you to start taking action. If you keep waiting for the right time, you'll find that you've spent years sitting on the sidelines, watching others live the life you want. The best time to start is now. The longer you wait, the more time you waste. Every day you put off taking action is another day you move further away from your goals. You need to take action right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. Start today. In addition to taking action, it's essential to stay consistent. It's easy to get excited at first and take a few steps toward your goal, but the real magic happens when you continue taking action, even when it gets tough. Consistency is key to creating lasting change. The people who achieve extraordinary success are the ones who show up day after day, even when they don't feel like it, even when they face challenges. It's about building the habit of taking action, even when the motivation is low. It's about doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. But here's the truth. Taking action isn't always going to be easy. You're going to face obstacles. You're going to feel frustrated at times. There will be moments when things don't go according to plan, and you'll be tempted to give up. But that's when you need to dig deep. That's when your commitment to taking meaningful steps will really be tested. It's in these moments that you have to remind yourself that success isn't about instant gratification. It's about doing the work, even when it's difficult. It's about staying committed to your goals, even when the road gets rough. Another important aspect of taking meaningful steps is learning from your mistakes. No one is perfect. You will make mistakes along the way, but instead of seeing them as failures, you need to view them as opportunities to learn and grow. Every setback is a chance to reassess, adjust, and improve. The people who achieve great things don't view mistakes as roadblocks. They see them as stepping stones. They learn from each failure and use it to propel themselves forward. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're part of the process. In addition to learning from your mistakes, you also need to stay open to feedback. Surround yourself with people who can offer guidance and support. Seek out mentors who have already achieved what you want to achieve. They can help you avoid unnecessary mistakes and provide valuable insights that will speed up your progress. The journey to success is not a solo endeavor. You need to build a network of people who will encourage you, hold you accountable, and help you grow. They will be there to offer advice when you need it most. At the same time, it's important to stay focused. The world is full of distractions, and it's easy to get sidetracked. But if you want to achieve success, you need to stay laser focused on your goals. This means saying no to the things that don't serve your purpose. It means blocking out the noise and staying committed to the path you've chosen. Distractions will always be there, but your goals should be more important than anything else. Focus on what matters, and don't let anything pull you off course. Taking meaningful steps towards success is a daily commitment. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and pushing yourself forward, even when it's hard, but it's also about being patient. Success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, it takes consistency, and it takes a willingness to keep moving forward, no matter what. So stop waiting for luck to change your life. Take control of your future by taking meaningful steps, one day at a time. The life you want is waiting for you to make it happen. Number 4. Stay focused on progress rather than chasing empty dreams. Staying focused on progress is a critical step in building a successful life. You have to understand that success isn't about chasing after empty dreams. It's about taking deliberate action every single day that moves you forward, that brings you closer to the life you want. There's a huge difference between pursuing genuine goals with purpose and just daydreaming about what you hope will come to you without effort. The world is full of distractions. Every day you are bombarded by people, by messages, by advertisements, and by the idea of quick fixes that promise instant success. We live in a time where it's easy to get caught up in the illusion that things can be achieved without putting in real work. But nothing worth having comes easy. Success requires consistency, focus, and action. It requires that you direct your energy toward meaningful progress, not chasing after something that's just a fleeting fantasy. The first thing you need to do is stop measuring your success by other people's standards. Too often, people look at someone else's life and think that's the definition of success. They look at someone with a flashy car, a big house, or a well-known name, and they begin to chase those things. They forget that success isn't just about appearances. It's about creating a life that's meaningful to you, one that aligns with your values and your goals. You can't live your life based on other people's dreams. Their journey may not be yours. The moment you compare your progress to someone else's, you lose sight of your own goals. You'll start chasing things that aren't truly important to you. When you focus on someone else's life, you end up veering off your own path. Instead, you need to focus on your own progress. It's about finding what truly matters to you, setting your own goals, and working every day to achieve them. Don't get lost in empty pursuits that lead you nowhere. Progress, real progress, is achieved when you have a clear understanding of your own goals. What are you working toward? What does success look like to you? It's not about empty dreams of fame, wealth, or superficial recognition. It's about creating something meaningful that adds value to your life and the lives of those around you. Progress comes from being intentional with your time and energy, from setting goals that align with your personal values, and from taking deliberate steps toward them, no matter how small those steps may seem. It's crucial to understand that progress is not always visible in the moment. Sometimes, you might feel like you're not making any headway. You might feel like you're stuck in the same place, like nothing is changing. But you have to remember that progress doesn't always show up immediately. It's like planting a seed in the ground. At first, nothing happens. The seed is beneath the soil, and you can't see the growth happening. But with consistent effort, over time, that seed will sprout and grow. Your progress works the same way. It's not always immediately obvious, but when you stay focused on consistent action, you'll see results eventually. The key is to stay patient and stay focused on the process, not just the outcome. Chasing empty dreams is a waste of time. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of success, to get distracted by shiny objects and promises of instant gratification. But if you're not careful, you'll spend your life pursuing things that don't truly matter, things that leave you empty when you finally achieve them. True success is not about reaching a destination. It's about the person you become along the way. It's about the skills you develop, the challenges you overcome, and the growth you experience in the process. When you shift your focus to progress, you'll realize that every day matters. Every decision you make, every step you take, is a part of the journey toward success. It's not just about reaching the goal. It's about the continuous improvement that happens as you work toward it. Success is built on the foundation of small, consistent actions. The more you focus on making progress each day, the closer you'll get to the life you want. One of the dangers of chasing empty dreams is that it creates a cycle of disappointment. People chase after things without understanding the deeper value behind them. They think that achieving a certain goal will bring them happiness or fulfillment. But once they reach that goal, they realize it doesn't bring the satisfaction they thought it would. It's because they were focused on the wrong things. They were chasing something that was never going to bring them real joy or meaning. When you focus on progress, you shift your attention to the process of growth, which is fulfilling in itself. Every step you take is a victory. Every day you put in the work is a success, even if the bigger goal is still far away. It's about the journey, not the destination. In order to stay focused on progress, you have to be willing to do the work, even when it's not glamorous, even when it feels like no one is watching, and even when the results aren't immediate. Success isn't about quick wins. It's about building a strong foundation that will carry you through the tough times. When you stay focused on progress, you embrace the challenges and difficulties as opportunities to learn and grow. You stop looking for shortcuts, and instead, you trust the process. You know that every small action, every effort you put in, is a part of the bigger picture. It's also important to recognize that success isn't linear. There will be ups and downs along the way. You will face obstacles. You will have moments of doubt and frustration. But it's in those moments that your true character is built. When you face challenges, you have two choices. You can either give up and chase after empty dreams, or you can stay focused on your progress and keep moving forward. The people who succeed are the ones who choose to keep going, even when it's tough. They don't let obstacles derail them. They use those challenges to fuel their growth and push them toward their goals. Another key aspect of staying focused on progress is learning to enjoy the journey. Too often, we are so focused on the end result that we forget to appreciate the progress we're making along the way. Success isn't just about the end goal. It's about the person you become as you work toward that goal. It's about the lessons you learn, the resilience you build, and the strength you develop. If you can learn to find joy in the process, you'll stay motivated even when things get tough. You'll understand that the work is just as important, if not more important, than the achievement itself. The moment you stop chasing empty dreams and start focusing on progress, you will begin to see real growth in your life. You will begin to feel more fulfilled, more confident, and more motivated. You will start to recognize that success isn't just about reaching a destination. It's about the progress you make every single day. The more you focus on meaningful action, the more success will naturally come your way. You don't need to chase dreams. You just need to focus on making progress, and the success you desire will follow. Number 5, create a solid plan and follow through relentlessly. Creating a solid plan is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward achieving your goals. It's not enough to just dream about success. You have to have a roadmap, a clear path that outlines what you need to do, step by step, to get to where you want to go. Without a plan, you're just wandering aimlessly. You're not taking control of your life, and you're not setting yourself up for success. The first thing that will separate you from the people who just dream about success is your ability to plan and execute that plan consistently. A plan isn't just a set of goals written on paper. It's a strategy. It's a blueprint for success. You need to break down your big, overwhelming goals into smaller, manageable steps. If you don't do this, you'll be overwhelmed by the magnitude of your ambitions. But when you take those big goals and break them into smaller tasks, you turn the seemingly impossible into the possible. Suddenly, the mountain you're looking at doesn't seem so high, and you know exactly what you need to do to climb it. Once you've created your plan, the real work begins. It's not enough to just have a plan in your mind or written down on paper. You have to commit to it. You have to follow through, no matter how difficult things get. Following through means doing the work every single day. It means pushing yourself even when you don't feel like it. It means staying disciplined, even when the world around you is distracting you. If you truly want to see success, you have to commit to that plan and refuse to back down. Most people fail because they don't have the courage to stick with their plans when things get tough. They start strong, but then they hit a roadblock, and instead of finding a way to get around it, they give up. They stop following through. They abandon the plan. But the people who succeed are the ones who understand that roadblocks are a part of the process. Challenges are inevitable. You can't avoid them, but you can control how you respond to them. If you want to succeed, you have to keep going. Even when the going gets tough, you have to follow through relentlessly. The biggest mistake most people make when it comes to following through is underestimating the importance of consistency. Success isn't built on one big leap. It's built on small, consistent actions taken over time. You have to show up every day, even when it feels like you're not making progress. Even when you're tired, even when things are going wrong, you need to show up. You need to do the work. It's the only way you're going to move forward. A solid plan without consistent action is useless. It's just a piece of paper. You can write down all the goals and strategies you want, but without follow-through, nothing will change. You need to have the discipline to take action every single day. No matter how you feel, you need to build momentum. The more you act, the more you'll build your confidence. The more you push yourself to follow through, the easier it becomes. And over time, you'll start to see the results. To follow through relentlessly, you need to set yourself up for success by eliminating distractions. Distractions are everywhere. They'll pull you in 1,000 different directions. But if you want to stay focused on your plan, you need to control your environment. You need to create space for your work. This means setting boundaries, saying no to things that don't serve your goals, and making sure that your time is used wisely. One of the most important parts of a solid plan is tracking your progress. If you don't know how far you've come, it's easy to lose sight of why you're doing the work. Tracking your progress keeps you motivated. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. It shows you that your efforts are paying off, even when it feels like nothing is happening. When you see that you're making progress, even if it's slow, you're encouraged to keep going. The key is to track the small wins. Every little step forward counts. Every day you show up is a victory, and every step brings you closer to your goal. Another key to following through relentlessly is accountability. You need to hold yourself accountable for the work you're doing. This means being honest with yourself about whether you're doing what you said you would do. If you make excuses, you're just lying to yourself, and you're sabotaging your own success. Accountability also means being accountable to others. Share your goals with people you trust. Let them know what you're working toward. When you put your goals out into the world, you create a sense of responsibility. You don't want to let the people who are supporting you down, and that can be a powerful motivator to keep going. Many people fail because they don't take the time to plan properly in the first place. They jump into things without thinking it through. They don't take the time to map out the steps they need to take. They assume that they'll figure things out along the way. But that's a risky approach. A solid plan gives you a clear direction. It removes the guesswork and the uncertainty. It's like having a GPS for your success. When you know where you're going and how to get there, it's much easier to stay on track. But even the best plans won't work if you don't follow them. It's easy to get distracted by shiny objects, to get sidetracked by things that aren't aligned with your goals. But if you want to see real success, you have to stay focused on the plan you've set. Stick with it, even when it's hard, even when the road is long, even when you can't see the results yet. The results will come, but only if you keep pushing forward. You need to embrace the idea of relentless commitment. Following through means committing to your goals, no matter what. It means not allowing obstacles to stand in your way. It means making your success non-negotiable. There's no room for excuses. You can't afford to back down. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to reach your goals. And when you commit to your plan, when you follow through relentlessly, you build the kind of discipline and character that will serve you for the rest of your life. Success doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you make a plan, take consistent action, and refuse to give up. A solid plan is your foundation, and follow through is the key to making that plan work. Stay committed to the process. Take action every day. Track your progress. Hold yourself accountable, and eliminate distractions. When you do this, you'll not only reach your goals, but exceed them. Success is not for the lucky few. It's for the people who are willing to put in the work. If you want to be one of those people, then start creating your plan and follow through relentlessly. The future you want is waiting, but you have to be willing to go after it. Number 6, develop self-control and embrace challenges with courage. To develop self-control and embrace challenges with courage, you need to recognize that both of these traits are key to living a life of success, fulfillment, and purpose. Self-control is one of the greatest skills you can cultivate, and it's essential for shaping the life you want. We all face temptation, distractions, and moments when we want to take the easy way out. But it's in those moments that self-control is tested, and courage. It's the thing that pushes us forward when we're scared, uncertain, or overwhelmed by the obstacles in front of us. These two traits, self-control and courage, are the foundation for overcoming any challenge that comes your way. Self-control isn't about denying yourself pleasures or fun. It's about choosing to do what's best for your future, rather than giving in to short-term desires. Every time you resist the urge to procrastinate, indulge in unhealthy habits, or make excuses, you're strengthening your self-control. You have the power to make decisions that align with your values and your goals, but only if you develop the discipline to act on those decisions, even when it's hard. The first step in developing self-control is understanding that it's a skill, not something you're either born with or not. It's something you can cultivate and strengthen over time, just like any other skill. Self-control isn't about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about consistently making choices that align with your long-term vision. When you can learn to make decisions that serve your future, you'll start to build momentum toward achieving your goals. But self-control isn't always easy. The world is full of distractions and temptations. It's easy to get sidetracked by things that seem appealing in the moment. But every time you make the decision to focus, to put in the effort, to do what's right for you in the long run, you're building your ability to stay disciplined. You're creating habits that lead you towards success, rather than habits that hold you back. Every day you have the opportunity to make small, disciplined choices that shape your future. It's important to remember that self-control isn't about forcing yourself to do things you don't enjoy. It's about choosing to put in the work that will pay off down the road. It's about saying no to the distractions that would steer you off course, and saying yes to the things that will bring you closer to your goals. It's about delaying gratification, understanding that the effort you put in today will pay off in the future. Self-control is also about taking responsibility for your actions. When you slip up, when you give in to temptation, don't beat yourself up. Acknowledge it, learn from it, and move forward. The key is to get back on track as quickly as possible and not allow one mistake to derail your progress. It's in those moments that true self-control is tested. If you can get up after a fall and keep moving forward, you'll find yourself developing the discipline to push through even the toughest challenges. Embracing challenges with courage comes next. Courage is the quality that allows you to face fear head-on and move forward in spite of it. Without courage, you can't break through the barriers that hold you back. You might feel fear when you think about stepping outside your comfort zone, but it's in those moments that courage is most needed. The great thing about courage is that it's not the absence of fear. It's the ability to take action despite that fear. Everyone feels fear, but not everyone acts in the face of it. When you embrace challenges, you open yourself up to growth. Every challenge you face, whether big or small, is an opportunity to develop resilience, strength, and character. If you run from challenges, you avoid the very opportunities that will help you grow. But when you step into those challenges with courage, you develop the mindset of a winner. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities to rise to the occasion. Courage also requires you to be willing to fail. Failure isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. Every failure is a lesson. It's a chance to learn, adapt, and come back stronger. It's the people who are willing to fail to try again, who ultimately succeed. If you never challenge yourself, if you never step outside your comfort zone, you'll never know what you're truly capable of. But if you're willing to face the fear, push through the discomfort, and take those steps forward, you'll find that the rewards are far greater than any of the fears that held you back. The key to embracing challenges with courage is to reframe your perspective. Instead of seeing challenges as things to avoid, see them as opportunities to grow. Understand that you don't need to have all the answers before you start. You just need to take that first step. Courage doesn't require a perfect plan. It just requires the willingness to start. The more you face challenges head on, the easier it becomes to keep going, even when things get tough. The process becomes part of the journey, and you learn to trust in your ability to navigate obstacles. Self-control and courage work hand in hand. You need self-control to stay disciplined, to stay focused on your goals, and to make the decisions that will lead you to success. But you also need courage to push through the tough moments, to step outside your comfort zone, and to take on challenges with confidence. Both are essential for your growth. Self-control helps you stay grounded and focused, while courage helps you push forward, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. You'll never develop the self-control and courage you need to succeed by playing it safe. You have to be willing to take risks, to face your fears, and to keep moving forward, even when it feels uncomfortable. When you do this, you'll find that your self-control strengthens, your courage grows, and you become more capable of handling whatever life throws your way. It's also important to remember that you're not alone in this journey. We all face challenges, and we all have fears. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is their willingness to act in the face of fear. When you learn to embrace challenges with courage, when you take action even when you're scared, you'll discover that you're capable of achieving far more than you ever thought possible. In the end, developing self-control and embracing challenges with courage isn't about being perfect. It's about committing to the process. It's about making the choice to stay disciplined, to push through the fear, and to keep moving forward, no matter what. The journey won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it. Keep developing your self-control, keep embracing challenges with courage, and watch as you become the person you've always wanted to be. Number 7, wake up with purpose and attack your goals every day. Every single day you wake up, you are given a gift. You're given 24 hours, a fresh start, a new opportunity to make something happen, to move one step closer to your goals. But here's the reality. It's easy to hit that snooze button and roll over. It's easy to let the day slip away, to waste those precious hours, because you don't feel like doing what needs to be done. But what if you woke up every morning with purpose? What if you attacked your goals with the same intensity and focus as a lion hunting for its next meal? You see, waking up with purpose isn't just about having goals. It's about having a relentless drive to attack those goals every single day. It's about creating a mindset that sees each day as an opportunity to move closer to what you truly want. Let's be clear, success doesn't come by accident. It doesn't come by hoping or wishing that things will get better. Success comes when you wake up every day with the mindset that you will make things happen. The choice is yours every morning when you open your eyes. Will you wake up with purpose, knowing exactly what you need to do to get closer to your dreams? Or will you let the day slip by, distracted by everything else except what matters most? The key to waking up with purpose is to understand your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? What's driving you? What's the reason behind your goals? When you understand your why, it gives you the clarity and motivation to hit the ground running every day. Without that purpose, it's easy to feel lost, to go through the motions, and to wonder why you're not achieving the things you want. Your why is your compass. It's what keeps you focused and energized. But waking up with purpose doesn't just happen because you set goals. It happens because you choose to take responsibility for your day. You take control of how you start your morning, and in turn you take control of how the rest of your day will unfold. The most successful people in the world don't just wait for things to happen. They wake up every day with a clear plan and a determined attitude. They don't leave their success to chance. They create it. Now, this doesn't mean you need to have everything figured out. It doesn't mean you need a perfectly laid out plan every single day. But you do need a clear sense of direction. When you wake up with purpose, you know what needs to be done. You know what steps you need to take to move forward. You're not wasting time figuring things out. You're executing. And the more you execute, the closer you get to your goals. Every step you take, no matter how small, is progress. But let's be honest, waking up with purpose every day isn't easy. It's a habit that requires discipline, commitment, and focus. There will be days when you don't feel like it. There will be days when the motivation isn't there, when you feel tired or overwhelmed. But that's when the real power of waking up with purpose comes in. It's on those days that you must remind yourself why you're doing this in the first place. It's on those days that you push through the resistance, that you take the first step, even when you don't feel like it. You don't need to feel motivated every day to take action. Motivation will come and go. It's inconsistent. What you need is discipline. Discipline is what allows you to keep moving forward even when the excitement has faded. It's the commitment to your goals, even when the thrill of chasing them has worn off. It's the daily actions, no matter how small, that compound over time to bring you closer to success. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment. You don't have to wait for the motivation to strike. You can choose to attack your goals every day, even when it's tough. This is where consistency comes into play. The most successful people don't have a magic formula. They simply show up every day and do the work. They don't wait for the perfect conditions or the right mood. They commit to the process and make progress, day in and day out. And that's how you'll build momentum. The more you commit to attacking your goals every day, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, it becomes second nature. You don't have to remind yourself. It's just what you do. Success is not about having a few great days. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and moving forward. To attack your goals every day, you need to prioritize. You need to get clear about what matters most. It's easy to get caught up in the small, insignificant tasks that don't move the needle. But it's the big, impactful actions that will change your life. Take time to identify what your top priorities are and focus on those. When you wake up with purpose, you know exactly where your focus needs to be. You don't waste time on distractions. You eliminate the unnecessary and zero in on the activities that will have the most significant impact on your goals. And as you attack your goals every day, you'll start to see progress. You'll start to see the results of your efforts. But remember, progress is not always linear. There will be days when it feels like you're not moving forward at all. There will be setbacks and challenges, but those setbacks are not signs of failure. They are part of the process. Every setback, every obstacle is an opportunity to learn and grow. It's a chance to refine your strategy, to develop resilience, and to keep pushing forward. The key is to stay focused on the long-term vision. Don't get discouraged by temporary setbacks or slow progress. Trust the process. Keep showing up. Keep putting in the effort. And eventually, you'll look back and realize just how far you've come. So how do you wake up with purpose and attack your goals every day? Start by setting your intention the night before. Before you go to bed, take a few minutes to think about the day ahead. Visualize yourself waking up with energy, with focus, and with clarity. Picture yourself taking action on your goals with determination. This simple act of visualization primes your mind for success the next day. When you wake up, your brain is already in the right frame of mind. Next, establish a morning routine that supports your goals. Successful people don't leave their mornings to chance. They start their day with purpose, with activities that set them up for success. Whether it's exercising, meditating, journaling, or simply reviewing your goals, find a routine that works for you and stick to it. Your morning sets the tone for the rest of your day. When you start your day with purpose, it's much easier to maintain focus and energy throughout the day. Finally, take action. Don't just think about your goals, do something about them. Even if it's just a small step, do something every day that moves you closer to your vision. The power of small, consistent actions cannot be overstated. Over time, these actions add up, and you'll find yourself getting closer to your dreams. Waking up with purpose isn't just about making things happen. It's about developing a mindset that sees each day as an opportunity to grow. It's about showing up, doing the work, and staying committed to your vision. It's about attacking your goals every single day, even when it's tough, even when you don't feel like it. When you wake up with purpose, you don't just go through the motions, you create the life you want, one day at a time. Number 8, practice discipline and watch your dreams become reality. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. It's not about making the occasional good decision. It's about making the right decision consistently, even when it feels difficult, even when the temptation to slack off is high. This is the core truth. Discipline is the secret ingredient that turns aspirations into tangible outcomes, that transforms fleeting dreams into solid realities. It's not the grand gestures that will get you where you want to go. It's the daily, consistent actions taken with purpose, focus, and determination. So let's break down the power of discipline and how practicing it will shape your future. The first thing to understand is that discipline is not something you either have or don't have. It's a skill you can develop. No one is born disciplined. It's not a natural trait for most people, but it is a habit that can be cultivated through consistent effort. The more you practice discipline, the more it becomes ingrained in your life. In fact, the difference between successful people and those who fail isn't necessarily intelligence or talent. It's the ability to stay disciplined in the face of distractions and challenges. Successful people are the ones who know that discipline is the key to consistent progress and long-term success. They are the ones who make the conscious choice to keep going, even when it's tough, even when no one is watching. But here's where most people miss the mark. They think discipline is only about doing the hard work when it feels good or when it's easy. But real discipline is about doing the work even when you don't feel like it. It's about showing up when it's uncomfortable, when the energy is low, when the results aren't immediately apparent. Discipline requires you to push past your feelings and focus on the bigger picture. It's about consistently taking action toward your goals, no matter the external circumstances. It's easy to get caught up in the allure of instant gratification, the temptation to procrastinate, to take shortcuts, or to indulge in distractions. But every time you give in to those distractions, you move further away from your goals. Discipline is what allows you to push through the resistance, to turn your attention away from the distractions, and focus solely on the actions that will get you closer to your dreams. It's about developing a mindset that says, "This is what I'm doing today, and nothing will stop me from doing it." You might ask, why is discipline so important? Well, think about it. Every goal you set requires action, and every action requires a level of commitment. Without discipline, commitment is just a fleeting thought. It's a wish without a plan. When you practice discipline, You give yourself a roadmap to follow. Discipline makes those steps toward your goals clear and manageable. It's the force that keeps you moving forward when everything else is pulling you in 1,000 directions. It keeps you focused on what matters and helps you keep your eyes on the prize, even when the going gets tough. But there's more to it than just staying focused. Discipline is about developing habits that support your growth. Every successful person you admire didn't get to where they are by random chance. They built their success through disciplined actions that were consistent over time. This means that every time you make a disciplined choice, you're taking a small step toward the person you want to become. It's not about achieving success overnight. It's about the consistent small victories that compound over time. The more you practice discipline, the more natural it becomes. Over time, these small actions start to form habits. And before you know it, you've created a routine that drives you closer to your goals every single day. One of the most important things to understand about discipline is that it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Everyone slips up sometimes. Everyone has moments where they don't follow through on their commitments. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is the ability to get back on track quickly. Discipline isn't about being flawless. It's about getting back up after you fall. It's about not letting a setback define you, but using it as motivation to keep going. Every time you get back on track, you strengthen your discipline muscle. Another important point is that discipline isn't about punishing yourself or forcing yourself into rigid routines. It's about making a commitment to your growth and success. You're not disciplining yourself because you have to. You're doing it because you want the results. You want to see your dreams turn into reality. And that's why you choose discipline over the temptation to quit, to procrastinate, or to give in to short-term distractions. So how do you start practicing discipline? It starts with clarity. You need to be crystal clear on what you want and why you want it. Without clarity, it's easy to get distracted or lose sight of what you're working toward. When you have a clear vision, you know exactly what you're aiming for, and that clarity becomes the fuel for your discipline. If you don't know what you're working toward, it's easy to give up when the going gets tough. But when your vision is clear, you have a reason to keep going, even when the path is difficult. Once you have clarity, break your goals down into small, manageable actions. You don't have to achieve everything at once. The key is to take consistent action toward your goals every single day. This is where discipline comes in. Discipline is about sticking to the plan, even when the motivation is low or the progress seems slow. It's about setting small, realistic tasks for yourself and committing to them, no matter what. Whether it's dedicating 30 minutes each morning to work on your goals or setting a timer to focus for an hour, these small, disciplined actions add up to big results over time. Another powerful practice of discipline is accountability. Whether it's through a mentor, a friend, or even self-accountability, knowing that someone is watching or that you're tracking your progress can motivate you to keep going. When you have someone or something that holds you accountable, it's easier to stay disciplined. You don't let yourself off the hook as easily, because you know someone is expecting you to follow through. But discipline doesn't just show up when things are going well. It's in how you respond to challenges. The road to success is rarely smooth. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But discipline is what keeps you moving forward in those moments. It's the strength to push through, to keep going, even when it feels impossible. Every time you face adversity and choose to stay disciplined, you're building mental and emotional strength. You're proving to yourself that you are capable of overcoming anything that stands in your way. And this is where the real magic happens. When you start practicing discipline, you begin to experience growth in all areas of your life. Discipline doesn't just help you achieve your goals. It shapes who you are as a person. It builds character. It builds confidence. It builds resilience. You begin to trust yourself because you know that you can rely on your ability to stay disciplined. The more you practice discipline, the more you become the kind of person who consistently shows up, does the work, and creates results. But the best part of practicing discipline is that it eventually leads to freedom. You might be thinking, how can discipline lead to freedom? Here's how: when you're disciplined, you create the structure and routine that help you succeed. And with success comes the freedom to live the life you want. Discipline is what allows you to build the foundation for your dreams. It's not about restriction. It's about creating the space for success to flourish. The more disciplined you are, the more you can enjoy the freedom that comes with achieving your goals. So if you want to make your dreams a reality, start by practicing discipline. Start by committing to your goals every single day. No matter what, stay focused. Take consistent action. Push through the resistance. Build the habits that support your success. The more you practice discipline, the closer you'll get to your dreams. And one day you'll look back and realize that the life you once dreamed of is now your reality. Number 9. Take responsibility for your actions and stay consistent. Taking responsibility for your actions is the bedrock upon which success is built. It's about owning every choice, every decision, every action you take. When you take responsibility for your life, you acknowledge that you are the one who has the power to shape your destiny. No one else can do that for you. This simple yet profound truth is where the path to transformation begins. If you want to create lasting change in your life, you must first understand that it all starts with you. To take responsibility means to stop blaming external factors, circumstances, or other people for your situation. It means understanding that your current reality is the result of the choices you've made up until this point. While it's easy to point fingers and make excuses, the real power lies in recognizing that you are the driver of your life. Once you take full responsibility for where you are, you gain the power to change your direction. When you stop playing the victim and start owning your actions, you open yourself up to the possibilities of growth and success. Most people look for reasons why things aren't working out, seeking the comfort of external blame. But the truth is, no matter how tough the circumstances are, it's your response to them that defines your future. How you choose to act, react, and persevere determines your outcomes. Taking responsibility means you refuse to give your power away. You take charge, no matter the challenges or difficulties that may come your way. It's about moving from a mindset of excuses to a mindset of solutions. The path to success is rarely a straight line. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and detours. But every challenge presents an opportunity to grow, and how you respond to these challenges speaks volumes about your level of personal responsibility. When you take responsibility for your actions, you stop blaming others or external circumstances for your setbacks. Instead, you focus on what you can control, the decisions you make, the steps you take, and the actions you commit to. Now let's talk about consistency. Consistency is the fuel that turns your responsibility into results. It's not enough to take responsibility for your actions once in a while. It's about showing up every day, putting in the effort consistently, and staying committed to your goals no matter what. Consistency is what separates those who make progress from those who remain stagnant. It's the force that ensures small actions, repeated day after day, eventually lead to massive results. Many people start with enthusiasm, ready to take on the world. They may take responsibility for their actions and even make a plan. But somewhere along the way, the excitement fades and they slip back into old habits. This is where consistency comes in. Consistency is about continuing to show up even when the motivation is low, when the results aren't immediate, and when the path is tough. It's easy to stay consistent when things are going well, but true discipline shows up when things aren't going your way. Consistency is about staying the course, regardless of the obstacles or distractions. Success is not built on occasional efforts. It's built on the day-to-day habits, the unwavering commitment to keep going even when the going gets tough. Success comes to those who are willing to do the work every day, even when it's hard, even when the results aren't obvious. It's the little things you do consistently that add up over time and lead to lasting success. One key aspect of consistency is the ability to track your progress. If you don't keep track of your actions and results, it's easy to lose sight of your progress. By measuring your progress, you hold yourself accountable and can see how far you've come. Tracking your actions keeps you on the path, ensuring that you're moving in the right direction. It also helps you stay motivated because you can celebrate your small wins along the way. And as you celebrate those small wins, you'll be reminded that your consistent actions are indeed leading to bigger and better results. But taking responsibility and staying consistent isn't just about professional or financial success. It's about personal growth. Consistency in your actions means you are continually evolving, growing, and learning. Every day you make a conscious choice to take responsibility for your actions. You are reinforcing the mindset of growth. It's the small, consistent actions that compound over time and lead to long-lasting transformation. The power of small steps is often underestimated. But when compounded over time, these steps can completely change the trajectory of your life. When you take responsibility for your actions, you also take responsibility for your failures. It's easy to celebrate success, but how you handle failure is equally important. Taking responsibility means owning your mistakes and learning from them. It means not making excuses or blaming others for your failures, but taking the lessons they offer and using them to move forward. It's about seeing every failure as a stepping stone to success, not an obstacle that will stop you in your tracks. In fact, the most successful people aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who fail and get back up again. They're the ones who understand that failure is part of the journey, not the end of it. Consistency also means developing a daily routine that supports your goals. A successful life doesn't happen by chance. It's created through the small daily habits that you cultivate. If you want to achieve something, you need to make it a priority in your life. This means creating a routine that aligns with your goals and sticking to it, even when it's difficult. Your daily routine is the framework that supports your success. It's the combination of actions, habits, and mindset that you reinforce each day. The more you practice these habits, the more they become ingrained in your life, and the closer you get to achieving your goals. It's important to recognize that consistency is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up every day and making steady progress. Sometimes life throws curveballs, and things don't go as planned. But that's not an excuse to give up or abandon your goals. Even on the toughest days, the key is to keep moving forward. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going. Consistency means putting one foot in front of the other, no matter how small the step. Taking responsibility for your actions and staying consistent requires a shift in your mindset. It's about choosing to be the person who is in control of their life. It's about owning your decisions and understanding that every action you take is either moving you closer to or farther from your goals. When you take responsibility, you empower yourself to make positive changes and take meaningful action. When you stay consistent, you ensure that your actions align with your long-term vision, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. The beauty of consistency is that it leads to momentum. The more consistent you are, the more natural your efforts become. Your actions become second nature, and your goals start to feel inevitable. You stop fighting against yourself, and instead you align your daily efforts with your larger purpose. This momentum fuels you, propelling you forward even when the challenges arise. One of the most profound benefits of taking responsibility and staying consistent is the way it builds your self-trust. Every time you show up, every time you follow through on your commitments, you are building trust in yourself. You are proving to yourself that you can do what you set out to do. This trust becomes the foundation for your confidence. When you trust yourself, you become more resilient in the face of challenges. You know that no matter what happens, you have the strength to keep going. This self-trust is a powerful force that carries you through even the toughest times. In the end, the combination of taking responsibility and staying consistent is the key to lasting success. It's not about overnight success or quick wins. It's about showing up every day, taking ownership of your life, and doing the work necessary to create the results you want. Success is the result of small, consistent actions taken with purpose and responsibility. So take responsibility for your life, your choices, and your actions, and stay consistent. Because it's through this relentless commitment that you will build the life you've always dreamed of. Number 10, invest in daily habits that lead to long-term success. Success is not a one-time event. It's a result of consistent daily actions and habits that align with your long-term goals. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who experience overnight breakthroughs. They are the ones who have invested in daily habits that compound over time to create remarkable success. Building a successful life doesn't happen by chance. It happens through the daily decisions you make, the small, consistent actions you take each day that gradually add up to significant results. The first step in investing in daily habits is recognizing that every action you take has a ripple effect. Whether it's the way you start your day, how you manage your time, or how you take care of your health, each choice you make is either bringing you closer to your goals or pushing you further away from them. Small habits, repeated day in and day out, shape your reality. If you're not intentional with your daily habits, you're unknowingly creating a life that's dictated by chance. But when you take responsibility for your habits and align them with your desired outcomes, you are taking control of your future. The key to building lasting success is not doing everything all at once, but focusing on small, powerful habits that over time accumulate into significant changes. Think of it like compound interest. When you invest small amounts consistently, they grow exponentially over time. The same goes for your daily habits. The small steps you take every day are like deposits into your future success. At first, it may feel like nothing is changing. The progress may seem slow, but trust me, the investment you make today will pay off tomorrow, the next month, and even years down the line. One of the most impactful habits you can develop is a morning routine that sets the tone for the entire day. How you start your day influences everything that follows. A productive, positive, and focused morning can make the rest of your day flow with purpose. It doesn't have to be a complex or time-consuming routine. The goal is to create a morning habit that gives you the energy, clarity, and motivation to tackle your goals. For some people, this could be as simple as reading for 15 minutes, meditating for 5, or reviewing your top priorities for the day. Others might prefer a more physical approach, like exercising, stretching, or journaling. Whatever it looks like, make sure it's something that aligns with your vision for the day and puts you in a mindset of success. But the morning routine is just one piece of the puzzle. Successful people know that their day is shaped by the small habits they practice throughout the day. This could be a commitment to time blocking, where you break your day into focused, productive periods. It could be developing a habit of healthy eating and regular exercise that sustains your energy and well-being. It could be taking time to plan and reflect, ensuring that you stay on track and adjust course as necessary. The point is that every action you take, no matter how small, is an investment in your future success. Your daily habits don't just impact your work life. They also shape your personal life. Building healthy habits like maintaining strong relationships, getting adequate rest, practicing gratitude, and managing stress are just as important as career habits. A well-rounded life is the foundation for long-term success. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and grind, but without balance, your success will feel hollow. Take time each day to invest in your personal life, whether it's through quality time with loved ones, engaging in self-care activities, or simply taking a moment to relax and recharge. These habits fuel your well-being and contribute to sustained success in all areas of life. Another crucial area of daily investment is learning and growth. Success is a moving target. The world around you is constantly changing, and in order to stay ahead, you must be willing to evolve. The most successful people never stop learning. They make it a habit to read books, take courses, attend seminars, or listen to podcasts. This ongoing investment in self-education allows them to stay on the cutting edge of their field, gain new perspectives, and sharpen their skills. It doesn't have to be a major commitment. Even dedicating 20 to 30 minutes a day to learning can make a huge difference in your long-term growth. Consistency is the key to making any habit stick. When you commit to small actions every day, you create momentum. At first, it might feel difficult, and the results may be far from immediate. But over time, those small actions will add up to something much bigger. For example, imagine you commit to reading just 10 pages a day. That doesn't sound like much, right? But in a year, you'll have read dozens of books, significantly expanding your knowledge and perspective. The same principle applies to any habit you choose to focus on. Whether it's exercising, journaling, or networking, small daily actions will build a foundation for success that compounds over time. Another powerful habit to invest in is the habit of setting clear, actionable goals. It's not enough to have vague aspirations of success. You need to create a roadmap for your life. Break down your long-term goals into smaller, manageable tasks, and set daily, weekly, and monthly objectives that move you toward them. This habit of goal setting ensures that your efforts are always directed towards something meaningful. It also gives you the motivation to keep moving forward, even on days when your energy or enthusiasm may be low. Along with goal setting, accountability is a key ingredient in success. No one achieves greatness in isolation. Find someone, whether it's a mentor, coach, or friend, who can hold you accountable to your goals. Share your plans with them and check in regularly to track your progress. Having someone who supports you and holds you accountable increases your chances of success exponentially. It forces you to stay committed to your habits, even when you don't feel like it. Accountability keeps you on track, especially during times when it's easy to lose focus or get distracted. Investing in daily habits isn't just about achieving success in the future. It's also about enjoying the process. When you build habits that support your goals, you create a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction that fuels your motivation. You'll find joy in the small victories along the way, whether it's crossing off tasks from your to-do list, learning something new, or making progress toward your bigger goals. Success isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey. When you develop habits that align with your values and priorities, you'll find a deep sense of fulfillment that keeps you going, even when the road gets tough. However, it's important to remember that habits take time to develop. Don't expect to make drastic changes overnight. It's about being patient and consistent, trusting that your efforts will pay off. There will be days when you feel like quitting, or when the results seem slow to come. But this is where the power of persistence comes in. The most successful people are those who keep going, even when the going gets tough. It's about trusting the process and knowing that every small step you take today is an investment in your future success. In the end, success is not determined by one grand gesture or one major breakthrough. It's the accumulation of small intentional actions that lead to long-term success. By investing in daily habits, you are laying the foundation for a life of purpose, achievement, and fulfillment. You can't control the future, but you can control what you do today. So commit to developing habits that align with your goals. Stay consistent and watch as your dreams begin to take shape.